Let me start with you. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. I was in Kyiv in July to interview President Zelensky and his wife, the First Lady Zelenska. And I was struck by two things. One, that it's a beautiful, cosmopolitan European city. And at that time, they were leading relatively normal lives. And secondly, the incredible determination and stoic resilience of the Ukrainian people not to give Putin an inch of their territory. Looking at it today, with all these missiles raining down, not just in Kyiv, but other major cities around Ukraine, what is your sense about where the mood is of the Ukrainian people?
Oh, there's no question. You're right, Piers. There is no question at all that that anything has been shifted. People have been killed today. I mean, I got out pretty early and I saw the cars had been hit, and there's a road crossing which is in London terms as busy as the junction of Hyde Park Corner and Piccadilly, something like this. Then a few yards on, 100, 200 yards on, they put a missile bang next to a children's playground, and then a couple of half a mile away, a big office block, they hit that. And while we were filming that, I realized that I was stepping in someone else's blood, and the person who had been standing there rushed to the hospital, but died on arrival. And then there was another kind of zigzag of blood, which I followed, and it was dark as dark can be. However, this is, I think, not a sign of military strength, but a sign of weakness. The reality is the Ukrainian army is beating the Russian killing machine hollow in the south and in the east. And my friends in the Ukrainian army are absolutely appalled and horrified by what's happening. But one of my pals is a guy called Vladimchenko, who arrested me because he thought I was a Russian spy on day 2 of the war, but we since made up. But he's sort of said, like, not an inch, not an inch. We're not going to surrender. We're going to keep on fighting, and very, very hard.
And that is the spirit, John. I wanted, just before you go on, I just want to play a little mashup we did of some of the videos you've been posting today. Quite extraordinary. And as a backdrop to this, Kyiv's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, who I interviewed when I was there, gave the following details about today's airstrikes. They hit 45 residential buildings, 5 objects of critical infrastructure and communal services, 3 schools, 1 kindergarten, 2 after-school clubs, and 5 healthcare institutions. So that is the kind of thing that the Russians have been doing today to the capital city of Ukraine. Let's take a look at John Sweeney's videos today.
This morning, at the height of the early morning rush hour in central Kyiv, the Russians sent a missile, and the missile hit the intersection. And as you can see, there's at least 3 vehicles which are being completely burnt out. There's another 2 over there. I fancied a coffee. Look what the Russian army has done to the coffee shop. If you can see, this is the children's playground, and that's where the rocket fell. This is war crime after war crime after war crime. The people who targeted this missile, the people who hit the button, they should go to The Hague, and so should their commander-in-chief.
Very powerful journalism, John, and congratulations on that. You're doing extraordinary work there under obviously very difficult conditions. I believe that Ukraine has to win this war. I think if you let Putin simply land grab Ukraine and massacre innocent people in the way that he's doing with these war crimes, then what message is that to any dictator, frankly, and not least of all him, who I would imagine would just carry on grabbing land back until he's restored the Soviet Union. But I guess the crucial question is, how does Ukraine win? Zelensky today put out a tweet saying he had a good call with Liz Truss, the Prime Minister. Obviously, very important that relationship with Britain continues in the way that it was fostered under Boris Johnson. But how do you see the Ukrainians winning here?
Oh, they're already winning. They're already winning in a very simple way, which is that they're corroding and eroding the strength of the Russian killing machine by using essentially the rocket artillery, the HIMARS system, which the Americans have given them, and they've been hitting the ammo dumps. And that has taken out the previous Russian advantage in artillery. So it's switched. Now the Ukrainians can, in boxing terms, basically, if you've got a much longer arm, you can hit the other guy and the other guy can't hit you back. And what's happening is, the other thing is, as far as the infantry is concerned, Ukrainians are completely fired up because they're fighting to get their homes back. And the Russian army has been told a dark fairy story that Ukraine is Nazi. It's not at all Nazi. The president is Jewish. It's a democracy. It's a democracy where people joke about the president. It's that kind of place. It's got its problems, as all democracies have, but essentially they are, this is an open and free society which is fighting for its life. And there are times like today where it reminds me of what I read about London in 1940. What people really want to do is go drinking and dancing, but they know they have to fight the monster.
Yeah. John Sweeney, thank you. I've got to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm sure we'll want to talk to you again in the week because you're doing remarkable work. So keep that up, and thank you very much for your reporting.
Thank you, Piers.